Good evening, everybody. And this episode, actually got the inspiration from our previous episode on the Chinese population, because during that episode, I came across a lot of videos on Chinese real estate properties, right? And obviously, I was researching things like the whole ghost cities and whatnot in China, because it's very strange if you have a whole place that's been used to be populated and then suddenly it's not. So I started to kind of look more into this, and I think what I want to talk about today is called the duality of the strange thing around real estate. And it's not just the normal people who have a place to live in China, but I'm talking about the two unique circumstances which many in China have experiences with or are currently experiencing. The first one you're quite familiar with. It's called rotten tail building. So I'll show you a video of the example of what I mean by this. So essentially, you have these homeowners who bought the property, paid the down payment, has to pay back the mortgage month to month, but they are strapped to an essentially a debt agreement at this point, because they have an unfinished complex as their home, quote unquote home, right? So you see here in this video, the people are essentially eating, like this particular one. It's in the province of Shanxi and Xi'an. So Xi'an city, where the terracotta warriors are. The Jingshan Yuntian building has been unfinished for over a decade. So for more than a decade, these people have basically, because you're stuck paying a 30-year mortgage, right? And no one wants to buy these homes, by the way, so you can't really sell it. That's why I say it's a dead one. But for over a decade, you have people who essentially don't have electricity or water, and they cook using these outdoor stoves. I don't know if I can zoom in a little bit on this so you can see what I'm showing you here. Okay, so there's an outdoor stove that they use to cook, no running water or electricity, and well, it's a horrible thing, right? Because really, the government doesn't protect you as a homeowner in China. It protects whoever can buy their land, to lease their land, because that's how the government makes money. So this is like a very typical first type. You have these rotten tail buildings that are essentially a skeletal structure. Now, if I'm on Chinese Douyin, which is TikTok Chinese, you can find plenty of videos talking about this idea. Especially nowadays, it's quite apparent with the Chinese real estate developers going bankrupt, defaulting on their payments, etc. So then you would have situations like this, where you essentially have people who, as you can see in the shot, like it's not furnished at all. It doesn't have any of the necessary, not even like a basic furnishing, right? Or even completion of facilities and whatnot. So here you see they don't really have a working elevator, and they build these, skyscrapers essentially. Look at this, right? Like, imagine if you lived in one of these unfinished homes in China. You don't have running elevator, you don't have electricity, water, or whatnot, but then the bank makes you pay this because you bought it. And because here's the issue, right? There's no accountability for these developers. There might be individual cases where they get their money back, but most of the time, because if you work with, say, the developer is Evergrande, who was basically went bankrupt, or it's Country Garden, you're not going to get your payment back, because they never had enough money to finish the home to begin with, and they already had moved on to the next thing, right? So this type of stuff would happen to you. And then so if you're stuck without anything like elevator, if you're stuck without electricity, in this case, that's what happened to these homeowners. They brought their kids, they got a little community going for you. And in some cases, they do finish the building, which is nice. And in those cases, you at least would have a place to live. Some of them might not have like a community park or a recreation area, might not have a playground for the kids, but at least you got a place to live, right? That's just one example. A lot of these simply look run down because you don't have a home association. So not enough people buy these homes. That's one scenario. Or the second scenario, which is you have a place to live, but you don't have enough people to form what's essentially called like, how the supers in your apartment building do the general maintenance, do the cleaning, keep the common area clean, etc., right? You wouldn't have those people because there's people aren't paying for that HOA fee or whatever the equivalent of that would be. I covered this video before, and this is just, again, another one example of the building. And you can see, like, it's just the bare minimum of the walls that have been put up, right? The bearing columns for weights. This man has been living in this place since August of 2024 now, but he actually moved in on March 25th of 2024. So he had already been living there for 5 months, but obviously as of today, more than 2 years. And this is the situation they have here. So no electricity again. This is where he sleeps. They basically collect water here for things like washing clothes, washing dishes, washing vegetables, whatnot. The kitchen. This is their kitchen. Unfortunately, it's tragic. It's tragic. But you know, where's the accountability for these people, right? So this is my first, I guess you would call it the first of the duality side of Chinese real estate. When you have what I would say is sort of the unique situations, right? And then the second type are these. So I'll play you this video. You have the second type of which is the second part of the duality. So the second half. Essentially, you have these abandoned buildings. Like these are done, but they look like tombstones. They look like a cemetery, and nobody lives here. That's the strange part. Nobody lives here. So this is from Chinese Real Estate Business Report. It's a magazine. It says, on November 22nd, the media Chinese Real Estate News, under the supervision of the Ministry of Housing and Urban Rural Development, reported that the delivery rate of the national 3.96 million housing units in the tough battle to ensure delivery has reached 99%. So essentially what they're saying is that 3.96 million units of housing that have been delivered. I don't know if they mean this year or this month, but apparently that's a delivery of 99%. So all of the homes that have been built, there's a 99% delivery, which obviously is not true because, well, I mean, take a look at all these videos. There's plenty of people as recent here. I can even sort by newest. As early as 36 minutes ago at the time of this recording, there's still videos talking about Rotten Tail. Like, look at this. This one is a Rotten Tail development from Hui Kaiyan's Evergrande. They built the gate, but they never really got started on the rest of them. I don't know what this one is. So this one, they claimed that the child, when the child was in grade 1, it would look like this, and now the child is in grade 5. For 5 years, this building has essentially been rotten. It's not done anything. But anyways, let's go back to the other video. So you have this second type where essentially you have what's called ghost cities in China, right? So the ghost cities are cases where it's the entire thing is done. Technically, it is done. It's just that nobody lives there. So you could, if we did the simple math of taking, you know, the left and the right of the equal sign, right? X equals Y, that type of thing. If we took all the people who were struggling to get their homes finished and we moved them into places, let's say here. So I'll play you this video and you can decide whether or not this is a good solution or not, okay? So this one is a seaside villa development, less than 1% occupied. What if we just moved everybody from those developments into this one? Look, everything's done. It's super nice. It's a little community, right? It looks like the Forest City development that I visited. It actually, the interior even looks like the Forest City one. It's almost like they just carbon copied everything. So this guy just randomly goes to like these abandoned also because like literally less than 1% of the units have been filled. It's super nice. You're next to the ocean. You got a beach side. These are the villas. Again, they're all done. At least you could live in these, right? They have running water, they have electricity, they have all the amenities. And this guy's the only guy living there. So he goes to the sales center. Again, it's like there's nobody there. It's like a ghost town. This is the literal ghost city. And yeah, so you just see the display model. It looks exactly like the model here. Everything's been done. Now, the reason why those people that we see in here, they struggle with this problem is because most of these developments that I just showed you, they're the ghost cities, are built in somewhere super random, right? Like seaside resort. Normal people don't want to live there because maybe they have a job in a bigger city or whatnot. And the second reason is, if you take a look at this video, the closest town that you can go visit in these seaside villas or developments is a little town, and you can only get there by driving or by taking your e-bike. So it's very inconvenient for people. It looks nice, but you go there, like there's nobody on the beach, right? Okay, so this was the same one as before. He just switched to a different room because I honestly think you could just go into any one of these and just take it as your own for now. All right, guys, we're just gonna take a moment and take. All right, guys, we're just gonna take a break to talk about our Black Friday sale from Blueberry Creative. So it's this product that I've previously recommended, which I'll show you again here. Here's my box. I finished it already. I can't even get my hands on it because it keeps selling out. The reason why we're doing pre-orders is because the next batch will be available in early December. Now, let me talk about the red sea cucumber gel. It comes in a gel form packet, which I'll show you. It looks like this in the photo here. You just take one a day. This is hand harvested on Jeju Island in South Korea by what's called hanyons, which are female divers that go into the ocean floor to harvest the red sea cucumber. Now, what's different about the regular black sea cucumber versus this red one? Well, the red one has a higher concentration or content of saponin and collagen, which is great for recovery and also reduction of things like inflammation, improving the general health or even chronic illnesses. We have one person who purchased this for her husband. The reason is because her husband had surgery and he needed long-term, care and nutrition boost. And so she had been buying Alaskan red sea cucumbers, which it's fresh. You need to prepare it, to cook it, and whatnot. After she heard about this gel form that you can just take with the same health benefits, she immediately bought it. And she's been using it. And also, this is a feedback from a customer from New Jersey named Jocelyn. She had COVID. She felt she was tired all the time. She does aquatic exercise on Thursdays. And every time after class, she gets really tired and she doesn't even want to cook. Afterwards, she saw this and she wanted to give it a try. After about half of the box that she drank, she felt like she immediately got her energy back. That's actually some of the points that I felt taking this. Since stopping, I noticed the immediate difference. The first is that when I'm in the gym, because I had gone back to the gym, that I have more energy to do the lifts, right? Because usually after a few sets of the exercise, you start to get fatigued. So towards the end of it, you're really tired out. But now I feel like I have this like consistent energy output throughout the entire gym session. And the second is actually reduction of inflammation. For me, I get a lot of acne breakouts. It feels like the actual breakout only lasts a few days now versus maybe a week, and the inflammation goes down much faster. And so if you're somebody that consistently deals with these type of chronic issues, this is a product I definitely recommend for you. Again, it's available to ship in US and Canada and also mainland China. And that's one of the key reasons. It's because there's so many fake products in mainland China that when they get a real good product, they, especially from places like South Korea, Japan, the United States, they're all about that. So yeah, people in China are buying this as well. So it's definitely a great product. I definitely recommend it. There is a great Black Friday promotion going on right now. So if you spend $450 USD, you'll get a ginseng gift, as well as if you spend $700, you'll get a ginseng gift plus additional ginseng root that's been steamed with honey. And you spend $1,000, you get all of the above and much more. So check out those promotions, link in the description, and that will support our channel to continue our work exposing the CCP. So thank you so much, and we'll go back to the video. Looks like a concrete jungle, and this one is built next to a pretty nice place, right? It looks like you have everything, and you have hundreds of these concrete buildings. This same guy, by the way, he just went to a different one. Again, nobody here. Looks like a ghost city. But this one, you have everything you need, right? So if you're somebody that does like, online job or work from home, pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, so like I mentioned, the solution, right? You move the people who need their homes to here. And that's why there's like an issue here. So this duality of unique Chinese tofu drag problem, or with housing problems, because some of these are also tofu drag, is that why not just move the people that need the homes to these places and they already have them built? I'll tell the answer, okay? So obviously the first part of that answer is because maybe these people, they need to live in that city because they can't just easily relocate. But the real answer is that a lot of these developments were never built for the purpose of being used. They were simply built for two reasons. One is to look nice with the numbers. China just has so many developments. It looks very nice on the outside. It looks complete. The second reason is that this is how the Chinese development was. The more you build, the more you get paid. The more you get paid, the more you build. But as soon as they start to go into the period where they overbuild but underperform in the sales department, That's when the issue started to creep in. But for so many years in China, for decades, they really didn't have or they didn't see the bubble burst until recently. The reason is because you could technically hide it when people did have a lot of money. So let's say in the early 2000s or the late 1990s, right? People freshly got investments and started profiting from capitalistic reforms. And so people had money on their hands. And them dishing out a few million yuan or a few 100,000 USD equivalent is nothing to them because, they're making money, right? And so in a lot of cases, you did have people who had a lot of money. But in recent years, especially after COVID, because people stopped spending, the amount of projects that continue to grow because they think that, oh yeah, as long as we promise people that we're building something, there's going to definitely be people who can buy. So even if we undersell how much we need to make the initial amount to actually complete the project, we can still pretend like, essentially it's a Ponzi scheme, that eventually we'll have enough people fall for it that we'll get our money back, or just get enough so that we can kickstart the next project, because at the end of the day, it's about profit, right? And the government encouraged this, so they would protect the developers when they start to get stumbled into these scenarios of unfinished homes, and they would say that it's okay, as long as you help me build more, you're going to give me more money because you need to buy the land from me, right? Or lease the land from me, because in China, nothing is actually owned by the person that owns it. It's owned by the government. But as long as you keep doing that, we'll be okay. We'll have a good time. So you get situations like this, essentially, where it's like literally just ghost towns everywhere in China. Like, these people feel like they're the only person there. So at night, it gets pretty scary. And here's another problem I've noticed. Even though it looks nice on the outside, the actual rooms themselves are terribly done. Like, look at this room. This is so small. This is like smaller than a studio. Sure, you get a balcony. Sure, you get a TV you can hang on the wall. You get a big bed, right? You get all the basic necessities. People are going to be like, why are you complaining? You get a bed, you get TV, you get everything. But dude, look at the size of that space. If you told me that this was a hotel, yeah, I'll be like, okay. But even the person that's filming this is complaining about how small this place is. Everything apparently is mini version. Okay? Mini version. So I thought that was a king bed, but apparently it's not a king bed. Look at the size of this bathroom. Everything's mini. Okay, so again, it's like it's built in a very nice area, right? You got all of the maintenance is done really well. It's just there's nobody living here. Like, it's all dark. There's one. Oh, that's her unit. Everything else is dark. Like, you're literally in a ghost town. Isn't that scary? For a country that has 1.4 billion people, or as they claim, this is a problem, is it not? There's only really two reasons for this. The first one is that you overbuilt, you oversaturated the land needed to fill that many people, or second, you simply don't have that many people. Like, it's complete darkness at night. That's crazy. But, obviously there's also other reasons. Some people simply aren't buying these homes because they don't have faith in the market, so they're not even buying it. Even though real estate price keeps dropping. And again, you have this is literally everywhere. You have rows upon rows of concrete buildings, just not enough people. There's so many places, going on sale or going out to rent. It's empty streets. Like, this feels like a post-apocalyptic movie. And a lot of these have like this concept of being a commercial district, or in the case of, say, Forest City in Malaysia, it was literally meant to be a city, right? A city of tomorrow, with the concept of forestry and greenery. So here they also have this like commercial vibe or a theme that this is a close-knit community, but it's also one where things are being done. Like, economy is running here, right? There's no people. This looks like some sort of an arena. Maybe things can, people can perform here. This lady, he asked her, is there people right now? She's like, no. Is there people in the summer? She's like, no. So even the hottest days, there's no people. What is she doing here? So that's the issue with Chinese construction. It's like they built these things, they waste all the resource, it's not being used at all, just so that it can look pretty for the people to like use as propaganda to spread on X and other social media. So he says it's a very nice place by the ocean. You just can't see people. And at nighttime, it just looks scary, bro. Like lingering lights, okay? So you have single windows that are lit up. And yeah, I mean, like you won't claim that this is like nobody lives here like 100%. In some cases, there is literally nobody. But in most cases, you get one or two people or maybe a few. Here's another one. This one just looks abandoned now. Apparently, there's only one unit that's occupied. Everything else is empty. It just looks run down. And you pretty much don't see anything. And the balcony, yeah, it's just tragedy. Last one here, this is another one, but this guy, he's in Dali, which is a city in southern China. You're surrounded by beautiful sceneries. And this one actually has a nice interior. Good lighting, everything. Yeah. Again, nobody here. Nobody. So there's about 3 units occupied per building. So 1% occupancy. And that's another issue was that it was built in like some really remote area. So here's a real summary of this episode, right? If you're in an actual urban area where you're dealing with people, where you have civilization, so to speak, you have issues with rotten tail buildings in its purest form, which is that like this, you essentially just have buildings unfinished, and they could be left unfinished for a while unless the city decides that it's time to get rid of it. Here's another example of the urban city situation. So this building, it's been 14 years in Yunnan province in Kunming city. So this is in Kunming city. This is inside the city. When I say that sometimes they can take care of it, other times they really don't. In this case, they have been living here for 14 years, like this video. So literally just like nothing. It's just neglected. It's done, right? There's just rotten tail. So they try to go petition with the local government. In most of the cases, it doesn't work because they don't care. And here is a Xiangyang city in Hubei province. So this is another city, and nobody really knows how many years it's been rotten tail like this. The grass overgrown. This is like Forest City everywhere. Maybe Forest City is just a reflection of abandoned developments in China.